Hello? Hello? Okay, one moment. One moment. Orf, welcome in. Okay, let me get set up here. Okay, we good? I think we're good. What's the plan for today? Spatial queries. Spatial queries are the plan, which I just kind of got a base implementation in. I have zero idea if it works, but my my targeting processor is what I was refactoring yesterday, and so that's quite unperformant still, despite the refactors, as is expected. As is expected. Now, I am trying to write, basically I'm trying to take my chunk processor that split the world into a grid and then assigned entities into each grid. I'm going to take that and I'm just going to put it like into the subsystem itself, the entity subsystem itself, so that I can do this for each in radius function directly. And this can be my like nested loop within my target processor. Collab, what do you think? Do you really want a game dev streamer's opinion on that? Like, do you really think I have anything to say about that that hasn't been said before? Let's focus on game dev, okay? Alright, I mean, I guess let's like just see... Why am I sounding sick today? I don't know. Let's just see if this works. Okay, it's not working. Oh, because we're locking? Did I lock somewhere I shouldn't have been locking? Oh yeah, find archetypes for query. We're locking A. Yeah, I guess, do I need to lock here? Let's not lock here. Let's not lock here. All right. Yeah, I don't know that I need to do that because like the chunk I guess it's gonna be the new location for my chunk processor. I should get rid of the old one, and I will eventually. But my chunk processor should just run on the game thread. Okay, cool. All right. I have no idea if it's chunking properly, chungussing properly. Okay, but it's not crashing, so that's good. It is good. Should I just do a quick, like, 2K test, just to see what's going on here? So I have the chunk size here now. Let's turn off target processor for now. Thank you, yes, yes. Yeah, let's do a quick 2K test here. Spawning. We're spawning. Okay, there we go. Oh boy. Okay. Wait, why is this an issue? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, do I need to change all this now? I don't have the sniffles. Ooh, do I need to change all of this now? Entity locations. Yeah, I guess maybe I need to change that. I mean, does this have anything in it anymore? I guess it still does. What is my row index? 526. I see my data here, please. Component array. And I'm getting like movement. Oh god, there's so many now. I should really change this ID to be something better, more explicit. Can I get shout out? No. Equipment. It's movement data that is the issue. I guess that maybe is being added somewhere, or has just gotten added. Okay, collab, last warning. Let's focus on game dev, okay? Okay, so, yeah, I guess I have to dig through this and find the, I have to find the move to data. Apparently it does contain that data. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here right now. Okay. Okay, we still haven't found it. There it is. Okay, move to data, and it was 526. And we have 526 items, so that is out of bounds. That would be out of bounds. Okay, so why did this happen? We're getting entity movement info from the velocity. So, like, we got here because it exists. No, we didn't. Because we're doing the ad hoc lookup here. But then how did we get here? Well, I guess how did we get a record? Entity 1152. Row index 526. Yeah, why did we get here? And why would my chunk, my entity chunk changes have caused that? Add entity to spatial grid, update entity in spatial grid. Yeah, so that I'm gonna rerun that. I want to see if that happens consistently or not. That shouldn't happen. I am running everything on the game thread, so there shouldn't be, like, it was no thread issue. There's no thread issue there. Let's try that again. That's weird that happened, and I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay, it happened again. It happened again. Okay, hang on. Let me revert. I kind of want to revert these changes. Let's shelve these changes real quick. And let me quick peek here. Maybe let me look real quick here. Hey, super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Appreciate the support. And welcome in, Haley. Thank you. Oh my god, YouTube chat is just fucking... YouTube Shorts chat is just on one today, huh? Is it gonna be one of those days, YouTube Shorts? Is it gonna be one of those days? Okay, yeah, I don't see anything that should be causing this. Let me see. I should revert my changes before I start to like look for things that maybe aren't the issue. Facial grid query. Okay, yeah, let's shelve that real quick and rebuild. All the little kids are getting the stream, yeah. Apparently. Okay, so I'm working on the ECS system today. Again, surprise, I know. But yesterday I was working on the target processor refactor, which we did some good refactors to it. I split it up, which felt great. And now I want to actually bake in my chunk processor into the entity subsystem. There is no one-line summary that exists. Entity component system? Yeah, that's right. I banned him, yeah. He's talking about pooping his pants. Like, I kind of just like assume that at least half of YouTube Shorts commenters have pooped their pants recently, so I don't need to hear that. Okay, so this is an existing thing. Okay, well that's good to know. Well, shit. Well, shit. Okay, which one of my changes did this then? Shit. Oh, I just did like a bunch of like renames and stuff like that. There's no way like me just like renaming stuff caused that. Right? I guess I did change some things to, I changed all of the entity parameters to const ref, or most of them. So I'm wondering if that's probably the only actual functional change that I made here. A lot of them were just renaming. Like this. Yeah, maybe I should revert those. Or try to as much as possible. I don't know why that would have caused that issue. Okay, hang on. Is this fucking on? Is this shit on? Oh, okay, I think I'm sounding that way because my like fucking, hang on, 1 second. Okay, do I sound better now? Sorry, I had to turn on the pirate software voice modulator. That's why y'all thought I fucking sounded sick. That's funny. Yeah, okay, so here's a bunch of what I'm talking about as well. I don't know why the audio settings just like straight up, some days it just like doesn't work. It just turns off. Now you sound like, yeah, now I sound like my dad works at Blizzard, yeah. Okay, yeah, let's just like change all these back. Like, this is kind of a, this is really read-only? Do I have to do a read-only one? Ugh. I mean, maybe it's this one. Maybe it's just this one. Let's just change this one and see if it fixes it. A record. Why would the entity not be in the archetype anymore? It might actually be from like the remove. Or rather like the move entity to here. Move entity to here, and we're doing a ref there. That, I feel like that's probably a sus spot as well. Okay, hang on. Rebuild the rebuild, please. Why is YouTube stream so behind from Twitch stream? It's just how it goes, unfortunately. It's just how it goes. I know YouTube runs like a lot of on the live streams they run a lot of ML processes to like annotate the videos and stuff. I mean, same things that happen when you upload a video. There are a lot of machine learning pipelines run on the video. But for live streams, they have to run them constantly. If I had to guess, I would say that they're intentionally baking in a delay to let some of those run. And if it's not intentional, then it's just like kind of what you have to deal with, you know? What are we working on? Some more changes to my ECS system. Spatial data queries, spatial entity queries, rather. Nope, still issue. Still an issue. Why? Okay, so what else would I have changed? And in here, I didn't change the subsystem at all. No, I didn't. Nope. Well, that's just the archetype. Okay, yeah. So it has to be one of these like ref changes, right? It has to be. So Twitch has no safeguards, so no ML-based detection in real time. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they do. I don't think they have as much as YouTube, though. Because I know, like, if you go to, like, youtube.com and you go to, like, the gaming page. So if you go here to like youtube.com/gaming, and then you can click like this, it says top live games. And so you can like click on this and like, it knows that these people are streaming, you know, fucking Dota or whatever. It knows this, even though no, like you don't select a category in YouTube to stream on like you do Twitch. So their ML pipelines can figure out what you're streaming, you know? So, yeah, Twitch doesn't have, I don't think Twitch has the level that YouTube has, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. What else do I want to do here? Add entity data. Yeah, I guess just change from, I didn't think these refs would have any sort of impact, which is kind of crazy. I'm the most sane stream you've ever gotten. Yeah, judging by the YouTube, I think YouTube Shorts commenters just kind of slowly drive the streamers, you know, more and more brain dead. I feel like that's all I want. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's rebuild. Hopefully that just fixes it. If that fixes it, I'm never gonna change those to refs again. It's so strange. That shouldn't have a difference, I feel like. That shouldn't have a difference. And if this isn't it, I sub. EY for sub. Build debug data probably doesn't fucking matter. Either just get entity data BP or get all data. That's all like debug. I don't use that for any kind of actual processing. Okay. We have rebuilt. Is this game dev? It is indeed. It is indeed. I'm working on an ECS system today. I was trying to do spatial queries, but then we encountered a bug, so we're trying to fix that bug here. And it's a recent bug. This didn't used to happen. Okay, I think we're running fine now. So yeah. Whatever I just changed. That's so interesting. So I kind of want to narrow that down a little bit more to learn, because it was happening. It's happening pretty consistently, actually. Destroy entity, I don't actually do that at all. So I wonder if it was add entity data. I bet it was add entity data. And this was from spawn. It happens on spawn. Yeah, that's spawn. Why does it look like Python? I don't know, because it doesn't look like Python at all. What about, I'm very curious. I am so curious to get into that mindset. What about this makes it look like Python? Python is snake-cased, meaning it has underscores in between each word of a variable, function, or class name. Well, I guess everything but classes in Python. And everything here is Pascal-cased. There are also pointers and references, which Python doesn't have. IDK. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's just par for the course. I guess that's just... Why does this look like Python? I don't know. Why does it? I don't know. That is the level of thought that gets put into a comment on YouTube Shorts. But let me actually put it back here and see what happens. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. It works. I don't want to fuck with it. I don't give a shit anymore. We're just gonna commit it. Commit that. I'll say change back to non-ref f entity params to fix weird crash Well, let me be more specific in case I need to look back on it. Thought a whole team was needed for a game. Yeah, probably. To fix bug where entity data. What was it? It was specifically... What now? Where entity data... I'll say where archetype record. I don't really know what the issue was that the data wasn't there. Data was not in archetype. There we go. Okay, we're just commit and push. I don't want to deal with that today. Don't want to deal with learning that. Okay, let's do spatial query things. Yay. Now I have to fucking merge conflict my changes in. Const. Yeah, that's good. That's good. What did I do here? Oh yeah, we did the new. Okay, so just close both of those. I'll do it myself. Okay. Yeah, give me all that. Okay, apply. Okay, do we have the changes? Okay, let's rebuild now. Make sure it still works. We'll do a trace. We'll see how well or poorly it is running. I have no name for the game yet. Python programming. No. No. Oh my god. It's always the people who have zero understanding that are just like, this is Python. Like, and you know what? I don't expect everyone to know what language this is by any means. But it's just like, some people come in here and ask, hey, what language is this? Fair question. Absolutely fair question. I will answer that. And some people come in here, is this JavaScript? Like, no. Why would you think that? I think Python, actually, I'm thinking Python is actually the worst one. Because Python is specifically snake-cased. Like, I don't think I've seen Python that hasn't been snake-cased. Yes, I am beginner. But then why would you think that it's Python? Like, if you know that you're a beginner, you shouldn't just assume everything is Python. You should assume that you don't know very much. And it's fine to be a beginner. I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to show you the world of other programming languages. Python with brackets. Yeah, that's another thing. There's brackets all over the place. I didn't even think about that. And honestly, Python with brackets kind of makes me a little horny. That sounds... I would actually use Python a lot more if it had brackets. Or are those braces or brackets? I get them mixed up all the time. C++, bro. Unreal Engine goes with C++. Yes, there you go. There you go. That is correct. We have a winner. We have a winner. Okay, we've been tracing. Let's stop the trace. Show me what our frame looks like. Process entity chunks for 2K is happening in 83 microseconds. Okay. That's pretty good. That's, I think, a little slower than process chunk or whatever, right? Process entity chunks. Is that what it was called? Yeah, process entity chunks. Okay, so median 0.08. 0.08 compared to what I want to check that in reference to the chunk processor, which was so it's actually, wow, it's actually slightly faster. Okay, let me look at chunk processor. Wow, it's actually slightly faster. Okay, even better, even better. I just wanted it to be at least somewhat close, but I'll take faster any day. That's good news. Good news, everyone. Okay, let me show the game. I'll show the game. We're going to take a moment to talk about the game. You have a moment to talk about my game that doesn't have a name yet. Would you like to hear about it? New seed. What are we on? We are on 705, so let's go 706. Okay, so why am I talking about seeds? Because it's a procedurally generated world. That's why. Here it goes. Look at that. Look at that. Never thought a single person could do that. Yeah, there's a lot of indie game dev streamers, especially on Twitch. Especially on Twitch, there's a lot of really talented people. So if this is the kind of thing that interests you, you can find a lot of other game dev streamers in the software and game development section on Twitch. And I can show you some of my favorites. I watch quite a few of them. A lot of really nice people. So my game is an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain. The destructible part isn't really working, it's just proof of concepted. I can deform terrain at runtime, it doesn't work very well and it's not very useful at the moment. So I also have AI generated quests. And what else do I have? I've forgotten. I've only talked about it every fucking day that I stream. What else do I have here? What else do I want to mention? Oh, world map. There's the world map. This one's kind of lame, but this is a procedurally generated world map. All these different colors are different zones. It's a different zone or a different biome, right? And then the edges of all of these zones are like surrounded by mountains. And so what we saw on the map relates to what we're seeing here. So like here's the edge of the zone right here. And you can see how it changes. This zone over here is like different than this zone over here, right? Would you give the link after you done? To what? A link to what? Yes, I am a game developer making a game. This is my game. The genre I'm going for is RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain and AI-generated quests. Part of my game, let's go to a new seed. For part of my game, I actually want to run the whole world, or at least have simulation on a very large scale, because I want the Colony Sim side of the game to be running at all times, whether you are there or not. And so a lot of Colony Sim games, they only do like a local simulation, right? They don't like simulate the whole world. And so they've either fake it in some way to where what you're seeing your colonists do on screen is not actually real and there's just some equation in the background. Or they stop the simulation when you're not around or something, you know. There's a bunch of different techniques you can do, sphere of influence type stuff. But I want, if you build a colony here and then you run all the way over here, I want that your colony to still be running, and if you've sent guys out to the forest to go chop trees or something, that they actually have to run over there and chop those trees and bring them back. And if there's any like wolves or bandits or whatever in the forest, what have you, then they will get attacked by those enemies. And they could die. And that's on you. Right, and hopefully that just makes the world feel alive and well and dangerous. I want there to be other like NPC ran colonies that create different factions in the world that you can interact with and potentially have some politics with, trade with, you know, they attack you, you can attack them, that kind of thing. How long did it take you to get good at game dev? Because I'm new to that field. I mean, that answer is different for everybody, but I mean, I don't know, like, define good, I don't know. I mean, I felt like I had a good understanding of the engine, of Unreal Engine after, I don't know, a year and a half, you know? but I'm always learning, so I don't know if like there's a threshold of goodness, right? What platform will this be on? I mean, I'm pretty far from launching anything, so no decisions made there yet. These are all placeholder assets. These are all just like free assets that I picked up over the years. So this is what game? It's just my game that I'm working on. It doesn't really have a name. The name is just my project right now. It is an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain. And I suppose I can show off some Colony Sim things here. Let me spawn myself a colonist. Hello, sir. Hello? Who are you? Linux Riverstone. Join my colony. Okay. Let's build some things. So I have a little building system. I'm going to put that there. These are all neither. I didn't make them, nor did I buy them. These are all free for the month. Things that I picked up over the years. Okay, so I just told him to go construct stuff. I said, go construct buildings anywhere. And so he's like, okay, there's a building here. I'm going to go build that. So he's building my little container here. Here's my little container. I'm going to say, hey, you can also, what do I want to say? Forage within radius 25 meters. So now he found some mushrooms over there that he's going to go snatch. Snatched. And now he's going to go put them back into the colony storage that he just built. Can you get slaves in this game? Well, yeah, the indentured, yeah, yes. There will be slaves. RimWorld is one of my all-time favorite games. And so I will be taking a lot of inspiration from RimWorld. So RimWorld, there are slaves. So I can also just do things like, I can just like drop some stuff on the ground. And he will pick them up. I can tell him to haul. Like, he just watched me like drop a bunch of shit on the ground. Now I'm about to tell him to go pick it all up. I'll be like, hey, haul. Go haul things. Yes, good. Good. He is picking things up. Now he's putting them all in there. There's one more over there he's going to go grab too. Yeah, now this chest has all that stuff. It's got the mushrooms that are in there. He's got like food and hunger values too. So once he gets hungry, he will come here and he will grab some mushrooms from colony storage. If there's none in colony storage, he will then start running around and trying to find some in the world. I've been working on this for about 3 years. Are you a freelancer? Do you work sometimes in a company? I mean, I have a job. I don't work in the game industry at all. Nor do I want to. So this is just kind of hobby, free time stuff. What inspired you to make this? Just playing video games for all my life. Yeah. So that's all the Colony Sim things I have now. I have AI generated quests as well. I can, I'll generate a quest. And while it's generating, let's read about Linux Riverstone, a 22-year-old male human shaman who is aggressive and none. Linux's childhood was marked by a profound connection to the spiritual realm, often experiencing visions and communicating with spirits. His insights are unmatched, but his aggression often gets the better of him. So do we have the quest? Yes. The Tainted River is the quest that we've gotten. My name is Lachlan Earthscard. And so he says, Earthscard, eh? You smell of the wild, a good sign. But the wild is out of balance. The river, the very lifeblood of this valley, is tainted. The spirits, they scream in torment. I ventured as far upstream as I dared. Something dark and unnatural is clinging to the water, a blight that feeds on the life force itself. I need you to travel upstream along the Riverstone River. Yeah, and so I got like a little quest log here. With some, this is like what goes into your quest log, which is like worded from the perspective of the player, and I've got different like encoded objectives, right? So, and this is just I just basically received a JSON object from the Gemini API after passing it in a bunch of stuff in the prompt. So, yeah, they're not really completable yet, just kind of like a proof of concept at the moment. English or Spanish? Well, I'm not speaking Spanish at the moment, so I'm gonna go with English. Yeah. Thanks for the subs, guys. Appreciate you. And welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome to the channel. There's gonna be like, kind of like some survival light elements as well. Every colonist will have like a skill for like construction and foraging and tree chopping. And what I'm showing here is the dynamic tree chopping. And so the mesh actually gets like edited at runtime and deformed at runtime. And then I just got some wood from that. Then I can like, ow, I can keep chopping. I can keep chopping. And yes, this is in C++. Do you use AI sometimes? You're worried it will mess up your code. I do use it sometimes, but that's the key, sometimes. I don't use it very much, and I also understand everything that the AI outputs before I use it. I don't just blindly copy things, and I don't blindly let it make edits to my code. I don't vibe code. That's vibe coding, right? When you blindly allow it to do what it wants. Will the axes be destructible? Yeah, so there's gonna be durability, but they're not gonna like, it's not gonna be like Breath of the Wild where they like just straight up break, you know? At least I don't think so. So I'm thinking that they will be repairable. I am a self-taught developer, yes. So college, bona fide college dropout here. Eventually the axes will have like tree chopping stats, and then that plus your like logging level will subtract from like a tree's health level, you know, and then there will be higher level trees and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a little bit about the game and the world. I guess the game's, if you could picture like vanilla WoW plus RimWorld plus Hades, that would be like kind of what I'm picturing in my head. Which is kind of a weird combo, I know. I'm not sure of another game that has tried to combine those genres. Yeah, plans for romance/drama options for interacting with NPCs. Romance would be pretty low on the list, but that would be like an update kind of thing maybe down the road. But that's pretty. I do plan to have interactions with the NPCs. Like that's going to be a big part of the game. What is this? Execute interact on the interactable object, which is the treasure chest. Oh, he got hungry. Okay, so he's trying to interact with the chest now. And what's it saying? Like it's saying that it's not valid? Why wouldn't you be valid? Why would you not be valid at that point? You're not like getting garbage collected or anything. Okay, that's a new one. That's a new one. And it'll pick up item action. So that would have been in blueprints. This would have happened from blueprints. And then let me look at entityutils.cpp. Get inventory entity data. Get entity data from context. Interesting. What's the story your game is telling? I don't really have any specific lore or story in mind yet. But it'll be quite sandboxy, so it'll kind of be up to you as to what story you want to tell. It would be nice if this could give me some insight as to what the issue is. Handle pickup action, perhaps? Okay, I guess maybe I should look at that blueprint. Let's look at that blueprint, which will be in the BP container. Okay, let's look at BP container. It was in handle pickup action. Handle pickup item action. Oh, I'm literally already looking at it. Okay. And it said something about getting inventory entity data. So I'm wondering if we got here and somehow the interacting object was null. Oh, this is probably an issue as well. I don't know why that was disconnected. Let's write a quick branch in here to test whether this is valid or not, just to make sure that we'll put a breakpoint here. Breakpoint there, just for next time. I'm not too worried about it right now, but just for next time. Because right now I'm working on spatial queries. I guess now we have some sort of spatially located entity archetypes. So I should probably change my target processor to use that rather than doing the entity query here. So from within here, I need to do a subsystem for each in radius, and then I need some data, which I guess I need faction data would be one, and then also tag data. So that would be, we would want to go const f entity, or f, what is it? What did I name it? Gameplay tag entity data const f faction to make sure that they are attackable data as well. This is a read-only processor too. Scope name can be view target processor for each in radius. Yeah, that's probably fine. And then here we want we need to pass in the radius as well and the origin. Okay. Yeah, so this is new. This is new for me. Origin would be the location data. Location, that's the current entity's location that we're iterating over, and then the aggro radius there, yeah. And then I wrote the lambda incorrectly. But then we get here, so let's pass in our component pool thingos. First it would be entities, then we go const t component array, no, not location data, gameplay tag datas and faction datas. Beautiful. Now I also want to add faction datas to the outer loop as well, so we get the current entity's faction entity data. I don't need to add that here. Faction datas, beautiful. Beautiful. So we can go const f faction entity data, there we go. Faction data, location data, and then from within here, I suppose, is when we'll need to just grab basically this. Pop that in there. Pop, lock, and drop it, as I like to say. Okay. Targetable. So we're not iterating over a targetable anymore. Which means we'll want, instead of new target, we're going to say f my entity. Or I changed it to just entity. New target entity. So we'll name it. The second coming of ECS, that's right. That's right. And so continue needs to be returned now. I'm going to change that to return. Targetable dot location. Yeah, so I guess I don't have the locate, but I'm already doing the... Am I already doing the... No, I'm not. Okay. Should I do that in here? No, probably not. Probably not. But I would want the location datas here too. We would want those location datas. There we go. Okay, we need to capture location data. Okay. Targetable dot location. So we need the go f vector. This can be const ref. This is going to be target location. Location data is. I guess, are we passing in? I need to loop. I need to do the loop myself, I suppose. I forgot. I've forgotten. Okay, for... Yo, you almost had it there. Come on, AI. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so new target entity. That's not going to be that. So we need to do targetable entity. If targetable entity equals self, we can skip target location. Aggro radius squared, we can pass that in. And then old dist squared as well. And we can pass in this. Tag data. Now, this is where we get to have some performance improvements. Yay. Tag data is at I. This is, call this target tag data. Nice. Okay. Targetable entity, new target entity equals targetable entity. Wonderful. Okay, so now let's replace the faction data. Get aggro towards entity. So we're going to do another one here. U faction world subsystem get aggro between factions. Faction A, blah, blah, blah. Let's do const ref here. Don't need that. If it contains it, return it. We can just do a find. So if auto aggro equals that thing, then we can just dereference it. Aggro. And the default is just attack back. Attack back only. Okay, get aggro between factions. Let's create that declaration and make it static. Thank you. I'm sure we can make it blueprint pure. Why not? Get aggro between factions. Now let's like change the rest of these to like do this. And let's rename that to from faction from faction. This is going to be to faction. To faction. Get aggro between factions. There we go. Okay, that's looking good. That's looking good. Okay, so now let's use this get aggro between factions here within our targeting processor. Get aggro between factions, and so now we need the. And I grabbed faction data. Faction data dot faction. We can pass in faction data. Capture into the capture args. And then this faction data. Why are you question result not used? What do you mean, brother? Oh, because it's being weird. There we go. Okay, so now there are no ad hoc lookups happening within here. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I've made it. Can we rebuild? We will need to rebuild and test that out. All of this just to make sure that they attack something when it comes in radius. And I guess I should probably, I think there's an early out that I can do here for if they don't have any faction that they initiate attack on. And I can get more complex with this logic, like, because what I used to have in the past was the green guys would only attack back only towards all other factions, and the red guys would initiate attack on the green guys. And what that meant is the red guys always killed them, because like the green guys would only ever attack when they got attacked, so they get like ganged up on. And so I can create some logic to like, hey, if someone in my faction is getting attacked near me, I should go help them. There could be some logic for that as well. Did I write some things out of order? Oh yes, I didn't add. No, actually that looks fine. Okay, so what is this saying to me? Oh, I'm getting indices. Potentially matching entities. Okay, interesting. I am getting the indices and the arrays. Okay, so I'm getting an array of entity indices. Interesting. So if anything comes within a specific radius of an NPC, they will attack it. If their faction is set to initiate attack on that other faction, it's faction dependent. Okay, so I don't have the entities. So I guess I need to just like do a check here. And oh, that needs to be, that was wrong. Targetable. Location data is dots. Num operator data. So wait, how can I get the actual entities from this? Let me look. T component array. Yeah, so what the fuck am I supposed to do with these these indices? What was I thinking? What if multiple entities come into the radius? Well, whichever one first is in the radius is what they'll attack. The closest one. That would rarely ever happen in a single frame, but... Okay, so I have these potentially matching entities. I get the indices. So it's like the indices of the archetype. Yeah, so I don't think I have all the information I need here, especially if I need the entity itself. Entities by archetype. Suppose by stroke of luck 2 it reached into the radius at the same time. Yeah, it would get the closest one. Yeah, so the chunk I don't think has enough information here for me. I have the row indices in that chunk, or in that archetype. So I would need to actually pass the archetypes here to even do anything with that list of indices. Okay, so I think I should probably store them a little bit differently. It would be nice to store the actual entity within the chunk. But I guess that would slow down the actual archetypal iteration, because then I would need to look at every single chunk. Dear Unreal Engine 5 devs, it has come to my knowledge that your software fried my 3080 trying to run a game at 60 FPS. What game? Okay, so how do I want to handle this? How do I want to handle this? I have the indices with it. I guess I would need to like build a list of entities.
Why are you running?
Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Bill Coleman.
Whatever reverse.
How's your stream? What were you working on? How did it go?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
What the dog doing?
What the dog doing? Thank you for the raid. I appreciate you. Yeah, how was your stream? And do you have anything you'd like to show off? And thank you for the raid once again. Welcome in, everyone. I'm working on fixing some things here. I'm working on fixing some things. And we need to change our architecture up a little bit, I think. This is not going to compile. I wish I was compiling. I could show the game. But for those who don't know, I'm Hydron. Hello. I am working on an RPG Colony Sim... Oh, okay, that build. Okay. I'm working on an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural destructible terrain, AI-generated quests, and I'm wanting to do like a full world simulation, like running all, you know, thousands and thousands of NPCs. And so I've been working on my ECS system recently. That's what we're working on. It was okay, worked a bit on everything, but I got basically nothing done. One of those days, I see. Passing out from mental exhaustion, so I'm gonna go throw myself in bed now. Well, I hope you enjoy your bed. That sounds wonderful. Lurk, nap, and good luck with your game, dude. Thank you, and thank you for the raid. And thank you everyone for hanging out. So here's my game. Let's take a peek at just one random seed. Of course, it's just an entirely flat ocean. Of course. And of course, it just crashed because I stopped it mid-generation. So ignore that. Act like you didn't see that. For my sake, please. Act like we didn't see that. So that was a bad seed. Right now, my oceans are just completely flat terrain because I don't have water. I don't have water yet, so... That's why that was a bad seed. We spawned in the middle of the ocean. 708. Okay, 709. Seed 709. Please be a better seed. There we go. There's a better seed. Okay, so here's my procedural terrain. A dark medieval editor. Yeah, like I installed some asset pack and it like changed my splash screen without asking me. And I've just been too lazy to change it back. So yeah, it says dark medieval editor. Yeah, this is my procedural terrain. Look at it. We've got different zones here. So these mountains are like borders around the different zones. And so this is like one zone, this is another zone, this is another zone, and then actually this one over here is another zone. And they each have different terrain noises. Like this is very like sharp, craggy rocks. And then this one is kind of like not so sharp and craggy, but we still got some mountains and stuff like that. This one's very flat. This is my meadows biome as well. My meadows biome. Got some flax, some sunflowers, there's some hemp around here somewhere. There we go. And this is like some really high altitude terrain here. And we've got underground caves and stuff as well, which was a giga pain to get working, but it's pretty sick now that we do have it working. And here's me. Oh god. Here's me, and here's the world map. Here's the world map. So each of these relate to the different zones I was pointing out earlier. So each color is like a different zone or a different... right now they relate to the biomes, but I only have 2 biomes right now, so they're not that much different. But this is... they each have different names. So like if you look up here as I hover over it, it'll give you some information. So this one's called Warped Forest, Sandstone Bluffs, Serpent's Maw, Karakoram Pass, the Forgotten Graveyard, the Plain of Air, Scorchvale Canyon, Brackish Sea, the Land of the Trolls. And so those are all just like AI, like purely random, just AI generated zone names. And thank you for the sub, my dude. Welcome in. Thank you for the sub over on YouTube. Nice that you also have generated caves. I can imagine the pain. Yeah, I had to write like an entire... Like, I had to write this entire voxel area algorithm here. So, like, if I, like, do that, I create this area. And it follows the terrain. Like, these voxels are just spun up on the fly when you're, like, building the terrain. Or building the area, rather. And I had to do this because of the fucking caves. Like, I wanted to create areas for you to, like, be able to say, like, hey... Go chop trees in this area, go store things in this area, you know, go forage. And there's like different, you know, tasks you can toggle on for it and stuff like that. We'll go pink. Actually, Megatron was purple, we'll go purple. Her name is Purple on Twitch. We'll go purple. But this is to like, you can say, hey, you know, and you can even say like, hey, just stay in this area to a colonist. And I needed to do this rather than just do like a bounding box or, you know, and then just put some decal on the ground because with the caves, like they're like, if I, let's say I did that on like the side of a mountain. If I just drew a box on the side of a mountain, I don't know if I can actually do that with this. There you go. So if I just did this box, you may also be unknowingly selecting a cave that exists like right here. So I had to make this like walking voxel algorithm in order to make sure that doesn't happen, because I wouldn't want you to like send your colonist accidentally into a cave that you don't know about that might be dangerous to like go forage things or something, you know. Then I have some dynamic tree chopping, and like eventually I'll have like actual skill levels for everything, like construction and logging and foraging and mining and all that. But I do have some, it's like these are dynamic mesh components, so they actually get edited at runtime. Ignore the materials being mismatched. But yeah, that actually puts some wood in my inventory there. Then I can use that to like build and stuff like that. And for my building system, you'll actually need to like bring the resources there and spend time building, and that's to just like kind of facilitate the colony sim side of things, so you can actually send colonists to do that for you, which I can probably show. Well, I guess I need to find him. I need to find... Sometimes it's kind of... Where did that guy spawn at? Where is 00 at? Wasn't it over here somewhere? Is he over there? Okay, we'll find him. Let's go find him. Oh, is he in a different zone? Oh, he's on top of the mountain. Oh, is he going to come down? Well, it's too steep for him to walk on. Okay, spawn me another one that's closer, please. Please spawn me one. Oh, no. Also on top. Oh, my God. It's spawning all of them on top. Stop. Bro, I have a serious question. Oh, no. Oh no. And what's really cool about the borders of these zones and stuff, because like I create intentional breaks in the mountains procedurally, so that's what these white dots are. Those are the actual like entrances into each zone. And so from this red zone to this green zone, there's not actually an entrance, but sometimes you can find... Where was it that I just saw that? Like a cave over here. So let's go over there. And it's just like, this is just like a purely random cave that got spawned, that got generated. And then it will actually be able to lead us into the other zone. And thank you for the follow, my dude. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So here's that like random cave, but then you can actually like walk over to the other zone. And like you could dig through the mountain, that would take a while. Or you could build up the mountain and then back down like some stairs or something. But then yeah, it kind of opens up into like this new zone that hopefully will be a different biome and be like super interesting and stuff. Can we change or replace a video that we've uploaded on YouTube without resetting the views or likes? I mean, I think you can do some things on it. I mean, you'll just have to see... And you'll just have to see that by editing the video. I think you can do things like change the title and stuff. Can I get up here, please? Nice. Okay. Here are my colonists. Is there anything to do up here? Okay, so I could say something like, hey, join my colony. I could say, let's build like a little container there. Sir. I'll say, hey, go construct things. So he'll go over here and he can construct the building for me. And I might be able to say something like, hey, storage within a radius. So he's going to pick up these little mushrooms that are here and then put them in the colony storage. So now they're there. So there's just like some of the colony sim tasks that I've gotten complete now. Yeah, let's keep chat focused on non-political things, on, you know, gaming, game dev, or programming and stuff like that. So yeah, we can check out some more seeds. Maybe a couple more. So that was seed 709. Let's do 710. This is a nice seed. I love this. Like, look at this nice mountain that we got generated here. Like, I think this is some of my favorite terrain going. because it's all each zone has like its own set of noise parameters, so they generate differently, and then they kind of end up blending together. And then I am in the shadow of that giant mountain. How have things been going? They've been going well. Thank you for asking, and welcome in. But over the past, going on 3 weeks now, I think, I've been working on the ECS system, which is just it's like a data-driven architecture to like efficiently run like thousands and thousands of entities. And usually I'm saying that because usually I have things spawned that I can interact with, like some colonists to recruit and some enemies to attack. So nothing super exciting spawned at the moment, but yeah, I can switch over and show that a little bit, I think, if it runs properly. What do we have? We're spawning, so we did have 2000 at 60 FPS. And right now I've just put everything kind of naively on the game thread, just focusing on the raw iteration speed comparisons. And so with parallel processing, I should be able to get about way above 60 FPS with what I have here for 2K entities. But yeah, this is 2000 entities spawned here. What's the benefit for having meshes deform at runtime? I would think that that might be CPU intensive. I mean, I showed on screen, there was no, there wasn't really that bad of hitching that happened. So it's not that performance intensive, but the real benefit is that you can be a programmer with no art skills, and you don't need to make a separate mesh for unchopped tree, half chopped tree, and fully chopped tree and stump. That's the real benefit and why I did it. So I'm not an artist and I can't make my own assets. Worked with ECS and Unity before, more complicated but so much nicer. Yeah, I'm making my own because like Unreal Engine has a built-in one called Mass, but I found it like really difficult to work with, and it was really complex. God, how did I target one that was that far away? Here we go. Oh Lord, he coming. He's coming. It's a little laggy right now with how many that we got. It'll be smoother. So yeah, a little bit of combat there too. And so what I'm working on now is I have a targeting processor that handles, it's kind of like aggro radius is what it handles, but it's really, really unperformant because I have to do basically a nested loop over entities. And so I'm writing in spatial queries into my subsystem. And so I have some things running that kind of split the world into a grid, and then it assigns entities into different grids. And then that way I only need to iterate over local entities rather than every entity in the whole world. That's what I'm working on right now. What do you use for the AI behavior trees with EQS? Oh God, no. That would be, I would only be able to run like 10 if I used behavior trees. I started there in my game dev journey, but I use state trees that I tick on the background thread so that the state trees run as a part of my ECS system. Okay, and so I need to change this architecture a little bit. So I did like a first pass at the spatial queries, but I'm realizing that like I don't really have enough information here. So I kind of need to like, the way I'm storing it, an entity chunk is just like an archetype, an entity archetype with the indices of that archetype that exist in the chunk. So I kind of need to, yeah, I kind of need to pack that into some data, which is going to have overhead to it. I either do that or I have to pass the archetypes into the function. Let's just say I had an archetype, so like F archetype. Let's just say I had an archetype. If I had one. Okay, so I would be able to get an entity at an index. But then I would need to get the particular component array. The typed component array. So we would do something like, you know, F location entity data. And are you mad? Yeah, it might not be initialized. You are correct that it's not initialized. Auto is like component array. And so we would do something like component array. Comp array. And then I guess I would have to just use the accessor on archetype. Get entity at index. Get entities. Because I need the index that a certain entity is in the array. But I guess this set of entities. So I guess I just iterate over the, I would need to do it in here. So I iterate over the entity indices, and it would be like that, I think. In which case I already have it. Do I have the information I need? The only thing I don't have is which entity it is, I suppose, actually. Which entity this is. So if I had the archetype, should I make this just like a T pair? What is the pair here? Archetype pointer to right to the end, the index would be the row index. But yeah, I guess I would just want to put the entity itself in here as well. But like I don't iterate over that. And I guess that's kind of it, like not everyone is going to need which entity this is. But I just pass it the whole archetype so I can do things like this. I think I would probably just need to pass the archetype, yeah. Honestly, just pass this whole object is honestly what we should do. Archetype and indices, but then that way I can get the I need to pass the archetype. So we do need to say which data we require up front to make sure we're only getting past the proper archetypes. But then what we get here, I think I'm gonna make archetypes, and that can be const ref, I believe. I think that's what we should just pass in there. So func, all of this. Honestly, yeah, comment all this out. And then I'm just gonna go function, eventually matching entities. That's really it. And so I guess that's going to be, there's going to be one per chunk. One per chunk. That's not very cache locality though. Like that, like the big point of an ECS system is that it focuses on cache locality, which means you want like really tightly packed data. So whenever you access that data, the processor will actually fetch all the data next to it. And what you're hoping for is that data next to it is data that you're going to need anyway. So that's why it's like super performant and stuff. But if I'm just doing it spatially, we're kind of going against that. But I mean, I would have to store the archetype in the terrain chunks in order to have cache locality in that situation. And if I did that, that means that my non-spatial queries would need to iterate over every chunk that the entities exist in, which is going to be a lot in the full world. And tabulate all of the archetypes, which is going to be, just going to be very inefficient for regular queries then, because that cache locality is going to be awful. So I guess I either have to duplicate the data for both situations, which feels bad, right? That's just taking up more memory that I don't need. Or I just sacrifice some. I guess we'll just see how well this runs. I did write down how well it was running before, so we'll see how well this runs first, I suppose. Okay, so archetypes. Let's do... give me this. Archetype indices in archetypes. Isn't that how you do that? How do you use the unpack? It's not accessible. Coding for long is boring. Maybe to you. I really enjoy this though. This is my passion. How do you do this? How do you do structured bindings? Let me look at C++ structured binding. I just need an example. Why can't I do that? Oh dear, what did I press? I pressed whatever the hotkey is that like minimizes fucking everything. Where is my other screen? I have that one. That's over there. I don't care about that one. Okay, up here. There it is. This is what I'm doing though. Why can't I structured binding this? Key and value. Structured binding T-pair. Unreal Engine. Just show me an example. That's okay. That's what I'm fucking doing. And it's giving me... It's not accessible. I don't really use AI that much. Okay, so we're just gonna do this. Oh, right, I need to be... Oh, I'm fucking dumb. Yeah, I need to iterate over it. Okay, that's why. That's fucking why. Archetypes. So then we go archetype indices. There we go. Yeah, okay, that'll do it. That'll do it. Archetype. So we're gonna do here the entity F entity is archetype. Well, I guess I need to do another for each here. Oh my god. Yeah, for indices. The nesting. The nesting is nesting. Archetype get entity at index. And then archetype get component array. I hate how nested this is. Get component array. F location entity data. And then it would be at index, right? It would be at the same index. Get component array, T component array. It has an accessor on it though, right? Oh, but it's a pointer, right? So I can't do like pointer accessor. I would have to deref the pointer, I suppose. I wish you could do a pointer accessor. There we go. Now we have the information. That's such an ugly syntax. Okay, but that's the location. And I think we can safely dereference that because we've verified that this archetype we're getting past has all the data that we need. So I need to do the same thing with tag data here. And so this needs to be, we'll call this tag targetable tag data, gameplay tag entity data, targetable tag data. F gameplay tag entity data. There we go. Okay, so that's all wired up. And then we need the faction data as well. Faction data is up there. Faction data. Okay, so that's wrong. That was wrong anyways. Faction entity data. Faction data. This will be targetable faction data. And I think that index is correct. And so the index of this entity, index to entity map, component types, entity. Yeah, okay. And so the type constructors are like statements in CPP. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay, does that compile? Some context, please. This is, I'm doing some work for an ECS system that I've written for the video game that I'm working on, which is an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite, where I want to run the entire world, or at least as much as possible. So that's why I'm using the ECS system. It's a data-driven architecture that very efficiently can run thousands and thousands of NPCs. And I'm making some changes to the system for my target processor, which needs to, for each entity, loop over each other entity to check if they're within aggro radius. If they have an initiate attack relation to the other entity's faction. That is expensive to do because it would be a nested for loop, and that compiled, so that's great. So yeah, so that would be a nested for loop. So what I'm trying to do is actually store my entities spatially in like a grid, a 3D grid. So that way I only need to iterate over the local ones, the local entities, and not every single entity in the world. I guess so. Let's turn that on. See how this is going to run probably pretty poorly. So just hold on to your butts for that. Okay, so that just straight up didn't work. Why am I getting indices that don't actually exist there? So for each entities by archetype, why would I need to... We're iterating over the entities by... So yeah, there might be an existing archetype in this array. Right. Yeah, so we're just extracting them from the terrain chunks. Or not the terrain chunks, the entity chunks. So yeah, why is there pair.value, component types, archetype type, or what is pair here? Entities by archetype. Yeah, so why is there an index in there that doesn't actually... Okay, so I'm probably not updating my chunks properly when archetypes change. Or I guess something added it and it's out of date now. Okay, so I should probably move... I should probably move the data around. Oh, that's gonna be so annoying. Okay, so I think what's happening is like on tick, I like process all the entities into chunks, and then I dispatch all the processors. One of the processors adds data, which changes the archetype, adds or removes data, which changes the archetype. But the chunk mapping doesn't change. I guess a quick and dirty way, but not as efficient way, is to check first if the archetype even contains this index. But it could contain the index and still be invalid. Right. Oh, God, yeah. So I have to make sure that they're updated. It would be invalid because it would be the wrong entity. Ooh, that's gonna be a giga pain. Okay. So in JS or Python, you would have a class wrapper to say convert int to string. I seen people you were doing float 8. I mean, you wouldn't need a class for that in JavaScript or Python. That would just be a function. I'm not sure how new to programming you are, but you would just need a function for that. But I'm not sure what you're talking about when it comes to the float 82733. So yeah, but I need to make sure that the chunks get updated anytime entity is added or removed. So honestly, that's just a part of the add and remove process. And then I also need to move things around based on their location. Boy, okay. String and float is a class in Python or JavaScript. I mean, the data types you're talking about. And sure, those data types can have constructors that have implicit conversions that do the implicit conversion for you, but usually a function is what does a conversion in most languages. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by the float thing. Okay, so update entity and spatial grid. Let me see how I'm using this already. Entity record location. Do I remove here if current chunk chord not equal to new chunk chord? Yeah, so maybe we can just do this. Anytime entity to chunk map find entity. Yeah, I guess that's the thing that needs to change. Entity to chunk map. Where are we handling this? Remove entity from spatial grid, add entity to spatial grid. I guess we could just overwrite it once we find the correct one. Update entity in spatial grid. But what if the... So I guess I need another condition here for... I just move the data to... Yeah, I can just like... I mean, this kind of just moves it already. But I guess if we're going to remove and re-add it anyways... If the chunk hasn't changed, do nothing. Yeah, I think I probably need an else here. Else if... Potentially... This is C++. So the archetype... Well, hang on. Let me figure out how I'm going to call this first. So update entity in spatial grid. I think this is the function that I would want to call whenever add entity data gets done. This probably needs to happen at the end here. Destination archetype, new index, location. Yeah, I guess I don't have the location. Can I get the old location? Like, we don't store the location, do we? I mean, can I make one where we assume the location hasn't changed? I feel like I should just make another one of these where we assume the location isn't changed. Let's do update entity spatial grid archetype. This is indeed game development. Update entity spatial grid archetype. Okay. Now I'm just gonna copy most of what we have here. And I guess I need a way to look up entity to chunk map, spatial grid. We have the archetype chunk. I guess if given an entity, and I guess I have the destination archetype. I also have the, I should probably pass in the source archetype as well. Which is current archetype. So const f archetype. Maybe just f archetype. Old archetype. Old archetype. What compiler am I using? The Unreal Engine compiler. Add entity to spatial grid. I guess I need to like get, first of all, I need to like get the old location. So I need to like find, what is it? Current chunk chord dot. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter what the location is because we're just gonna get the chunk chord location. Add entity to spatial grid. Let's rename this add entity to chunk. And then this is going to pass in a chunk board. And then anywhere where we use that, change the signature, yes. And we would want to do new chunk cord. Well, we already have the new chunk cord here, perfect. So that's even better. Okay, current chunk coordinates. Add entity to chunk. We would want the new. It would be the same because we're relying on the assumption that this hasn't moved. If there is no current chunk cord, it hasn't processed yet, and we can return. I'll say new entity has not been partitioned yet. So just return and skip. And so we want to remove the entity from the spatial grid. We can do that. And then I can add entity to the old. So I don't know. I guess I don't need the old. I guess I don't need the old one because I'm going to remove it from the old. I'm going to remove it from the chunk. And then I'm going to re-add it with a different record. Yeah, so I guess I don't need the old archetype. The current chunk coordinate. And I guess I can just change this to I could just change. I mean, I guess the only thing is like old archetype and new archetype. Yeah, so this is specifically for an archetype change. Okay. Did I already invoke that somewhere? Okay, yeah, there. So go there. So that should be for same for remove entity data as well, which is wait, where's remove entity data? We have this add entity data. That's for spawning. Oh, I guess I need to fucking do this for the templated versions too. Oh, but that just calls the underlying. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now here's where I need to do it again. Okay, so I can just put that at the bottom and I think we're fine. Does that work? Let's see if that works. We'll see if that works. What am I building? Video game, RPG, Colony Sim Roguelite, procedural terrain. I'm working on the ECS system now. I've been refactoring it. I've had it for a while. I've had it for like a year at least, but I'm refactoring it over the past 3 weeks now, so that we can eke out every little bit of juice, of performance juice from it. Right now I'm working on spatial queries. I have an archetypal query system. But now I also need a spatial archetypal query system as well. Which is kind of disgusting to keep track of. Okay, we have built. I should probably definitely, yeah, that's the right way to say that. I should probably definitely change the splash screen here, just so people understand that this is Unreal Engine. A little bit better, perhaps. I guess let's just run it. See if it crashes. It does immediately. It does pretty immediately. We have an index of 38. 35. Yeah, so what fucking happened here? Oh, it is so hard it's gonna be so hard to track this down. Would that not have put it into the right archetype? Would that not have put it into the right archetype? Thank you for the sub. Welcome. Okay, so we update here, remove, we find entity in the chunk map, which it should be in there. Spatial grid. We find the chunk. Then we find the record. We remove at record row index. Oh, is that, wait, hang on. Is that what I need to do? What, wait, what index am I getting here? Hang on. Maybe I'm iterating over the wrong fucking thing here. Row index. Right? Record row index. I mean, no, that should be the right one. This is row index. Yeah, I'm not sure what people expect a fucking hobby game dev streamer to say. Like, why would you want my take on that? Haven't you heard enough? Like, what would I say that hasn't already been said? I don't know. I think people on the internet just kind of... I don't know how serious people are being about it, you know? 38. How many, what did we have here? 35. So it's conceivable that we did... Which entity is this? I guess I don't know which entity this is. The beard does have +2 to int, so that does make sense. And these entities are stored in so many different places that I can't even like look. I can't even like reliably look up, hey, okay, where is this entity that's not in this map? I can't even like look that up reliably. Entities by archetype. I will have found it and removed it. Okay, so did we get through any of these indices? Did we get through any of them? Oh yeah, we got through a lot of them actually. And what was the one it was 38. We got through like 5, 6, 7. We got through 7. Index to entity map. Like, I should never get into... Let me make sure I'm just getting the right indices. It should be the row indexes are what's put in there. And row index... Let me look at row index real quick. Row index. Remove. It's really just for removing. Julian, thank you for the follow. I was watching your stream yesterday. I was lurking a little bit. I got rated over. Welcome in. Yeah, I mean, so let me check. Remove entity. The row index here should be fair value, entity to index map. Yeah, so that should be in there. That should be in there. Code with Sadiq. Thank you for the follow as well over on Twitch. Oh, you were raid. Oh, the overnight raid made it all the way back to me. Oh, that's so crazy. There's like a raid train because somehow you ended up over at Megatron. I came over from because when I was done with my stream yesterday, I raided Lapozdian. I don't actually know how to say his name. So that's how I got over. But yeah, it's so funny, like sometimes you leave a Twitch stream going and then you don't realize it and you come back the next day and it's like on some random ass like streamer you'd never, it's like on some like VTuber woo shit or something and you're just like, what the fuck was I watching sometimes? Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a very interesting sequence of raids that happens that gets you very far from where you started. Anyways, why are my entities not entitying? That's the question. There's supposed to be entities here, and I'm not managing their spatialness properly. And it's going to be fucking difficult to find where that is. Actually, weird for it to stay in the same category. Yeah, that's a very consistent. Someone is breaking the chain. I will not be raiding out of... I usually don't raid out of software and game development. So it will keep going. Maybe we can send it back to Lapozdian if he's streaming. Yeah, what do I fucking do here, man? What do I fucking do? That's not what I wanted. I just wanted to look at nothingness, I guess. Is there any more information I can glean from the stack trace here? I have an index. It doesn't exist in its archetype. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it exist in this archetype? The archetype is a pointer. It is stored. The archetype does get updated. I guess maybe let me look for... Where else would archetypes get updated? Move to here. Yeah, so I mean, just on any add entity data or remove entity data. But I thought I had all those. But I had all those locked down. Remove entity data, we put it there. Destination archetype. Entity to chunk map. If it has not been maybe it hasn't been partitioned yet? I don't know. I guess I would need the new chunk, which I don't have at this point. I don't have location, so I can't even do that. Facial grid finder add. We add the indices and row index. I wonder, does this not... Old chunk chord. We find it in the spatial. I wonder if this doesn't actually, like, remove it? I mean, it doesn't add it properly. Otherwise... I don't know, maybe it could not be removing the old one, and this is an old one that's no longer relevant, like post move or something. We have the old chunk chord, which we found in the chunk map. That should be fine. When an entity data adds or removes, it should probably still be in the same chunk coordinate. Spatial grid, which is the archetype chunk. It's chunk chord to archetype chunk. We get the chunk, entity locations, find the entity. And so we can look up the archetype of an entity. Entities by archetype. And then we get an array of indices. Oh, and I do a remove there. Not a remove at, and that is correct, but that's going to search through the whole array. That's not a very performant remove there. But all of that seems correct. There's no other functions I need to make sure that I have that in. No, I don't think so. Just add and remove entity data. Yeah, we have the new record. Oh, we have the new record. Oh, we have the new record. Oh, we have the new record. So we never actually remove it. This cannot remove it. We do need the old record. Or at least this needs to be done beforehand. I think that's the fix. We need to do this before we update the record. That way it can get removed from the old one. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. Let me grab a little sparkly boy here. Okay. Please, dear God, please, 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 both God and Tim Sweeney, please let that work. I don't want to have to track this down because it's very difficult to debug when entities are stored in like 24 different locations, all spread out. Different chunks, different archetypes. It makes it difficult. Makes it difficult to debug. Pray for me. Oh no, it still happens. What? Okay. Let me see, I guess what I should do now. It's the same issue. Same issue. 37 is not in there. It has 34. Now, entity 37 is there, but this is row index, not entity ID. Okay, so what I want to do, I need some logging, I suppose. I need to understand if these things are actually getting removed. And I would want to go here. Remove entity from spatial grid. And this returns, I'm pretty sure. It says returns number of removed elements. Okay, so let's return that. So we're going to return -1, or we return 0. We're going to return an int here. Removed equals 0. I want to know if things are actually getting removed here. Okay, so we're going to return that. And then here, num removed. It's going to be num removed. Add entity to I'm gonna guess it's num removed. That's the issue. It's not like it's not like we'd be adding it to the wrong record, because we are anywhere we call this. It's the destination archetype, which is the new archetype it had. But we don't need to do archetype locations, do we? No, we don't. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. What project are you doing? It's a RPG Colony Sim Roguelite, and I'm working on the ECS system right now. I'm trying to figure out spatial data queries. So I want to like iterate over all my entities, but I don't want to do, for some cases, I don't want to do all entities, right? Most of my processors just iterate over all entities. I have like this aggro radius processor that it needs to, for each entity, iterate over, what I want is just the local entities, right? So I'm trying to store them, trying to partition them in a spatial grid, so that I don't need to iterate over all of them to check aggro radii. Only the local ones. Okay, so we have this here. How many got removed? 1. Okay, that's unexpected. 1. Is it ever 0? Okay, no, it's not. Okay, so we do remove things. We do remove things. Okay. This makes me think I'm using like the wrong index or something. Indices. Let me look through this real quick, and let me look at what indices we grab. Indices. So we create like this master map, yeah. So we're taking, yeah, and we're just removing the chunk, essentially. We're expanding it from the chunk level. Chunk entities by archetype. If this chunk has archetypes in it that require, that's kind of expensive. It's kind of expensive. I just need to get this running though, and then I can make changes there. Just get this working first. Make it work. Make it good later. Then I would want to append all of the arrays in entities by art. Let me make sure I'm adding entities by archetype. Find or add. And then we add record.rowIndex. So let me make sure that this is getting called with the right records. Update entity in spatial grid. Record. Row index is I. That's not fucking correct. That is not fucking correct. That's fucking why. That's fucking why. But it has to be why, right? Entity to index map. So that entity has to exist in there. If it doesn't, we've got issues somewhere else. We've got bigger issues. I'm like 99% sure this is gonna fix it. Okay. Rid of that. Fuck, it didn't fix it. What? Why didn't that fix it? $34, $39. I am new and I'm wondering if AI really impacts the game dev industry. I mean, I don't work in the game dev industry, so I wouldn't have that direct of knowledge on that. I do work in software engineering. And I can say, you know, AI, I think most programmers use AI on some level. I think most probably just use the AI autocompletes. They don't just like use AI to write their code for you. But the AI autocompletes are quite nice. Okay, so when we process entity chunks, I'm just getting all archetypes that have a location in them. We are going to get the entities and get the locations and iterate over them. Entity to index map. Do I use this anywhere else? Not really. I don't actually use that for anything. So I guess I've never actually validated that this works. Last index, yeah. So we're doing the remove at swap. I mean, I think that should be global entity locations. I mean, I could look it up there, the row index there, but the row index is on I mean, okay, let's try to look it up there. I feel like that's not global, or what was it called? What did I call it? Entity locations for entity dot row index. I don't think that's going to fix it. I think that's the same thing. But we can just make sure. Let's see if that... Oh, I hope this just works. I would really like this to just work. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. But it verified that things were getting removed. I guess maybe I should verify that things are getting added now. Although, like, how wouldn't it get added? There's like no logic here. there's no logic here. Update entity spatial grid archetype. Does this happen? Let's see if that happens. I feel like it doesn't happen. Or that it shouldn't with what I have going currently here. Entity. Yeah, okay. I feel like that wouldn't happen. It does. Oh, for the player. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thanks for the subs, guys. Welcome in. Welcome. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Okay, so is it maybe the player like isn't? Is it the player? Player is the first entity, entity 0. Yeah, so I guess when things are getting spawned, they don't have a chunk yet, so they're not in the maps yet. Always something in the 30s. Okay, I need to go back and just validate all assumptions that I've made. Error.value. Add entity to chunk. Record.row index. Now, are you getting past the correct records is the question. Update entity and spatial grid. Record. Hmm. Entity to index map. I mean, that is like the row index, essentially. Should be at least. I mean, this is entity locations. I mean, the record should just be this. Is entity locations updated properly? Ooh, or no, it wouldn't be. Because we do that afterward. Yeah, so that would, well, that's in tick though. That's in tick, so that would be fine, I think. Because during that part of the tick function, we wouldn't be adding in and then we look up the entity location. That's how we get the record and remove everything. Okay. How to optimize the rendering time for so many objects? I use instanced static mesh components. Yeah. And that way there's only one draw call per mesh type. And then they're also nanite as well. So that handles distance culling type things. What else could be the issue here? We are removing there's these like phantom row indexes that are not updated properly. Okay, how else could I track this down? How else could I like isolate what's happening here? Archetype get entity is entity to index map. Maybe, is it entity to index map? That's wrong. When an entity is added, we add an entity to index map. Or rather, index to entity map. I have two. Okay, thank you. Why do I feel like the remove add swap is causing some issues? Why do I feel like that? And swap it with the last one, and then we go last entity equals the new radius. And then we update the global ones to that one as well. So yeah, those are the same. Then entity to index map. We remove entity to remove. Should that be happening right now? Should that be happening here? I have it on destroy entity. We also source index. The current record index. So yeah, we would be removing it after that in the current archetype. Which I should maybe call the source archetype. And this should be the source record. This is Unreal Engine. Yeah, so I do think we should remove. Yeah, it's gonna be a gnarly one to track down. And I could have sworn it had to do with adding and removing entity data before the target. You know what? Let's run that processor first. Let's run that processor first. And that should mean that none of the other processors have added or removed entity data. Yeah, okay, so now it's working. But I guess that kind of tells me what the problem is. But it is the adding and removing of data. Okay, is it running? Let's trace it for a moment here. Okay, so it ended up happening anyway. Interesting. Interesting, it ended up happening anyway. So, does the tick process not update entity in spatial grid? So it only processes it if the spatial grid changes, not if the archetype changes. Will you publish the game when you finish? Yeah, if I finish in 20 years. If the chunk hasn't changed, do nothing. That's not true. That's not true. So I guess I need to handle that here as well. And I mean, I guess I need to remove and add every fucking time, honestly. This should just be else. And then that way, I mean, it's extra work, but like... Let's just see if that fixes it. Let's just see if that fixes the issue. Uh-huh. Okay. It was after it ran for a second, too, so... Everybody spawn. Everyone is spawned. And it happened again. Fuck. Fuck. You have a lot. You have a lot in there. I guess if the arc, I can't do this on tick actually at all, unless it's this case. Well, I have to do both, right? I have to do both. Remove entity from spatial grid. Well, the thing is, like, I guess I have to rely on both working because. Oh, okay. Maybe I should rethink how I'm storing things in the grids. Is this that much efficient? That much more efficient? Is this any more efficient than doing the ad hoc, data lookups? I mean, I think so. I think it's at least a bit. I would really like this to work so I could test that and make sure that it's more efficient before I get like too deep into this. But I do have to rely on both updating on tick if the location has changed or if the archetype has changed. Which is this one. How does it get out of sync though? Should I put the spatial grid in each archetype? Would that be better rather than put each archetype in the spatial grid? And then the archetype would control the spatialness first. And so what would that mean for what this code looks like? We'd have our archetypes within the archetype. I mean, there would be like a grid. I mean, it's not like it would be incessant or egregious, but they would have the grids inside the archetype. Maybe I should do that. Entity to chunk map, chunk size. Let's move this here. F archetype chunk. Move that up. And I like having my members up at the top. We're gonna do that. Okay, so now it's up to the archetype to maintain that. Now gonna be up to the archetype to maintain that, I think. Process entity chunks for any archetype that has a location in it. I guess we would just call that archetype. I mean, this could just go within the archetype. Oops. Archetype, and we could just say like process entity chunks on that. The process entity chunks, let me copy, basically just copy all this in there. Locations, we get entities. The record. Do I have a record on? No, but I do have entity to index map, which is really what we want. We can just create a record where it's like this and entity to index map entity. It's really just what we want. Update entity in spatial grid. Okay, so let's copy that over. I guess I don't really need the archetype record to be passed in there anymore. I just need the location. The entity and the location. Because, I mean, we have direct access to it, so we're just going to do that. There's no reason to do this, you know, passing that in there. Just entity and location. Location of chunk cord. Let's grab that now. F archetype there. Do I have access to the chunk size here? I guess that's maybe something I need to pass in here as well. What are you using for the screen follow? It's just called, it's a OBS plugin called Zoom Follow Mouse. That does it. What would be the easiest way to, like, because I want to have the U param on the entity subsystem, but I guess when I like create the archetype, we can just probably set it. Let's do chunk size there. Do float in chunk size. Okay, we have chunk size now. Cool. Go ahead and stop the run. Add entity to chunk. Copy that over. Add entity to chunk. We're not gonna do record anymore because we just have chunk entities by archetype. Yeah, I guess that doesn't really make sense. And the spatial grid should just be the T array, right? So dealing with F archetype chunk doesn't really make sense anymore. We shouldn't need the record anymore. Chunk, spatial grid, finder, add, and that's just going to be a T array. Which I guess is a int 32. The chunk is now just like entities in chunk. Entities in chunk. Would I want it to just be the entities or the indexes? I think we still want the indexes there. I think that's a more straightforward lookup. Just call that indices. We skip that, and then we just add index to entity map of entity. No, wrong one. We do that. And then, yeah, override wherever it was in the old one. Thron, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Welcome in. Okay, so remove entity from spatial grid. Remove entity from spatial grid. Yeah, move this over. Remove entity in spatial grid. We can undo here. Here we go. Yeah, we'll do this. Entity. Entity chunk map. We have the old chunk coordinate. Spatial grid find, and then this is just going to be indices. Skip that middle layer. We skipped 2 layers here, actually. So I feel like this is actually slightly more efficient because we're just doing less lookups. Entity to index map, entity. Find. Oh, this is a pointer. Right. Oh, right. I thought Tim Sweeney was our Lord and Savior. They could both be lords and saviors. If indices is empty, then we grab spatial grid and remove old chunk cord from it. Okay. Destroy entity. Record. Archetype. Remove entity. Well, I guess now we use these entry points is how we do it. Remove entity from spatial grid, entity to remove. That becomes very simple. We just do that right up front. Add entity. Add entity to wait. Add entity to chunk. Update entity in spatial grid. I guess if we're adding a new one, I guess it would have to wait until next tick, because then we don't have the location from this perspective. We would need like the old location. I think on the move to it would make sense to pass that in. But on the add, I don't think so. Because I mean, that's for the most part happening on spawn, I would think. Add entity data, yeah, all of that. So I think the move entity to here Where the hell did that go? I think move entity to here is what's going to handle that, because I can look up the... I think entity to chunk map needs to be public, or rather just make a function for like get entity chunk. Yeah. We can just do find. Okay, const. Yeah, that's good. And so that means I can move entity to here so I can get the source archetype, source chunk, and whatnot. Const fint vector chunk chord equals, needs to be a pointer. If chunk coordinate, add entity to chunk, and then we need to remove it from the old one. So then source archetype, remove entity from spatial grid. That's what happens on move. Is add entity used from anywhere else? Yes, when it is created. But I think I don't need this anymore, because then we're just handling it in move now. We're just handling it from within move. Is that right? For each in radius. Okay, yeah, so this is going to need to change now. Chunks to check. I guess I need to check the archetypes first. Now. So we're going to do this. Required components query. What are we iterating over here? I need to do the same thing that I do in like a for each. But instead, let's just go. We're just gonna copy everything from in here. We're gonna rewrite this. We're gonna rewrite. Okay, so for each archetype and matching archetypes. So rather than like gathering the component arrays, I think we can get rid of that. I think we just get rid of this. Basically. And then it's like for... I guess I can come up with like the chunks to check. Or like a T set maybe? Would a set... No, because we need to iterate over them. T array. I kind of need to rewrite that actually. Chunks to check. Or actually, yeah, just copy this and undo. Okay, there we go. We do still want the chunks to check, but get rid of all that. Chunks to check. Origin chunk. Location to chunk chord. I guess I need that here as well. Let's make that a static function. Make that a static function on... We'll make it static here. Pass in chunk size. Okay, so pass that in. Location of chunk core, and then we just do chunk size there. And then I can do the same thing here. Chunk size. Okay. That's what I needed. Required types. Okay, for each matching archetype, I need to, I guess we're going to create the T map here of like, this is a T map of, yeah, that. Archetype. I guess I need like a, for each, do I need to iterate? No, I'm not going to iterate through each entity. I'm going to get entities in chunk is what I want. Get entities in chunk. Would I want that to return a T array? I think I want that to return a T array. Int 32, get indices in chunk. So I would want get indices in chunk. What we need to do for each for the chunks to check. Chunk, call it chunk, and then this would, we would want to add this to our archetype. Well, let's do T array int 32 indices equals, yeah, that, and then append. Yeah, that's what we want. And then function, we just call that with archetype to indices map. Okay, I think, does that compile? Does this work? I don't know. I'm gonna compile that. I'm gonna BRB. Okay, let's see if this works. So far, so good. Doesn't immediately crash. Not immediately crashing. It's working. It's working. No, it's not. Fuck. Fuck. Okay, so that change didn't help us at all. We have an index. 236. Yeah, that ain't in there. What case am I missing here? What is this archetype? Yeah, so I guess there should only be 2 different archetypes. Why are there more than 2,000? That's not right. These indices should total to 2,000. Get indices in chunk, spatial grid. Okay, so am I still not removing them properly? I can add it to the chunk. Spatial grid, find the indices. We can remove indices. I'm adding the same index in both. Remove removes the item. It doesn't remove at. And that is correct. That is what I want. I mean, if I made this at T set, of course I can't append. Make that a T set. Make that a T set. And rebuild. Does that fix it at all? Okay. Please compile. Thank you kindly. Thank you for your attention on this matter. I actually kind of feel like the FPS was slightly lower with this incarnation, where I put the spatial grid within the archetype. Which is interesting, because I wouldn't think it would be... I wouldn't think it would make a difference. I would think that it shouldn't. Run it. Run it. We'll see if those index lists are smaller. They should be. Oh, this is even slower. I can feel it. Probably head off to bed. Have a good one. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, my dude. Appreciate your follow. I hope you have a good night. Look at our archetypes here. Do the numbers here add up to 2000? Yeah, that looks like it's yeah, that's closer to 2000. Before they were over 2000. But we're still having this issue where this index just doesn't belong here. What if I put entities in there? Would that make it better for me? Would that make it easier to track down at the very least where my missing conditions are? Index to entity map. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be slower if I did it that way with the data lookups, which is not what we want. What am I missing? I seem to not understand pointers much. Well, the pointers are actually the easy part. It's the references that are difficult. Once you start thinking in terms of like every other language that's not C++, I've used pointers. Like, you're probably familiar with another language that doesn't have a distinction between pointers and references. And you're essentially using pointers. You are essentially using those. It just hides it from you. Everything's a pointer in other languages. And so the complicated part is actually the references, because that's what you're not used to working with. So to me, it got a little easier when I finally understood that. What do I want to do? Like, what else can I do to track this down? What else can I do to track this issue down? I mean, it has to be in the move to here, right? Let's make sure. We can run live coding there. I think, well, no, we're breakpointed. So, I mean, I can make sure that some are actually getting removed here. But that was happening before and we still had an issue. So I'm just not sure. It's not sure what else we would need to fucking do. I probably just need to spend some time on this offline. It's a thorny one. It's a thorny one for sure. Let's breakpoint there. Yeah, I did. Okay. And like it runs for a while, pretty well. Oh, that's actually 0. Move entity to here. Oh, we're just adding entity data. So that's actually fine. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is all happening from spawn, so this is actually expected. Source archetype should be like the empty archetype, right? Or I guess as we add, we're moving it around. Yeah, so we're not going to be removing any for a while. Yeah, I feel like this performs worse. Well, the T set definitely makes it perform worse. For sure. Wait, hang on. Stop. End. I just thought of something. Let me look at this again. We have our matching archetypes. Archetype to end. Yeah, I mean, okay, so this is for the one archetype, right? Yeah, I mean, okay. Okay, so what the fuck, man? What the freaking frack? Yeah, I gotta spend some time on this offline. I gotta work on this offline. Cause this ain't making no sense. Entity to change. We always remove the entity too. You know what? You know what? Let's try one of these things. Passing entities around by ref hurt me in the past. And that's because I'm moving them around in the archetypes. That might actually, oh my god, that might actually have been the issue. That might be the fucking issue. Yeah, I think that might have been the issue. You don't take help from GPTs? I don't take help from ChatGPT because ChatGPT is for normies. Change my mind. I do use Gemini from time to time. But yeah, this is kind of a complex issue. I mean, I'm sure it would give me some things to look into, but I don't think it would know. I think it would just guess at what the issue is, and then I would have to verify it anyway. So at that point, I might as well debug it myself so that I can have a better understanding of the system in the end. And I can get better at debugging. I feel like this was it. I feel like this was it. Yeah, I gotta change from that T set. It still fucking happened? Are you serious? No. Why, God, why? Okay, we don't even have all of the entities here. I mean, I guess maybe we weren't done spawning. You know what? You know what I'm gonna try? Move to, so like the one place that I add entity data, let's just comment that out. Let's just comment that out. So that's what's creating my two different entities. That is a music player. That is not me compiling something on the terminal. It's just a little cute little skin for a music player. I am working on a video game, trying to narrow down a bug here. We are in fact debugging. Okay, so now there should only ever be one entity. Or one archetype rather. They're not going to move at all. We'll see if that like fixes the issue. Are we done spawning? Yeah, we're done spawning and it's running. So yeah, it does have to do, it has something to do with moving the entity around. It has something to do with that. Okay. That is enlightening. It is enlightening. It is as I suspected, though. Yeah, I knew moving entities were troublemakers from the start. I knew it. Now, why is that an issue? Because I feel like I have all of my... I feel like I have all of my scenarios like nailed down, you know? I can add entity to chunk. Source archetype, get entity chunk cord. Yeah, maybe I needed that one. Let's try rebuilding that. I'm gonna be upset if it was entities being refs again. But I'll need to make a mental note to not pass around entities by refs in the entity subsystem. Because the entities change their memory locations, and so hanging on to a reference of it, I think it like kind of just becomes invalid, and then I probably I have like missed removals and stuff. Because I'm not removing by value. I feel like that sounds reasonable to me. But there was literally only one function that had the entity reference on it. So it would be surprising if that were the case at this point. I think there's probably something else, perhaps. Okay, so now they're moving around. Now their archetypes are changing. Okay, we're waiting. We're waiting. Was that really it? No, it wasn't. Okay. I didn't fucking think so. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna call it for the day. I gotta get to work anyway. I'll have to spend some time on this off stream trying to figure it out. Let me find someone to send you guys over to. Now we have had a raid train apparently. I remember I got raided by Zed yesterday. I raided La Pazdian. Apparently there's been a bunch of other raids. And Boolean, and we made it over there. I remember his stream, and now Boolean got raided over here to me. So I'm gonna send you guys back over to Zed, who raided me yesterday. And he's back doing game dev. He's working on like a retro dungeon crawler, like kind of almost Doom-esque in a way. And so yeah, we're gonna keep the software and game development raids going. And I'm gonna go cry in a corner. So thank you all. Thanks for the follows and the subs and everything. And I should be back on tomorrow. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll have this figured out though. That's the plan. I'm just gonna manifest that. So give me your energy. You'll figure it out. Yeah, I figured it out. I just need some time to think deeply about it, I suppose. Without a camera on me. Cheers indeed, and yeah, have a great day, everyone. Take care.